Okay, let's get started. Let's see if we can get ourselves a bit of a presentation going on. It's a style I've been wanting to do for a bit, and I have a bunch of ideas that I think I can translate properly. But I figure, why not start with how do we get good at fencing, and coincidentally a lot of other things. And if you haven't noticed, there's a lot of very good fencers or a lot of very good athletes happen to be good at a lot of things. And generally that's because they have created a learning pattern. And obviously all these ideas are not 100% original, right? These are things that I've seen over time, that I've basically stolen from other areas, one such as gaming or even chess. Not by any means a good chess player, but when I did a small dive, I realized I was making a bunch of mistakes, and they weren't necessarily related to chess. They were related to how I was approaching the game. So let's go down a little list. So, 1. We need to fence a lot. So whatever we're doing, we need to do it a lot. And I'm talking probably like well north of like 2,000 hours, if not more. Right? Like step 1, you need data. We need a lot of data. We need to spam tournaments. We need to learn the fencing language. Now, I'm going to give you the equivalent of this. I see a lot of people write the equivalent, hey, I want to learn how to read Japanese. I want to read the greatest Japanese fiction, the greatest Japanese novels. What's the best book I should get? I need to learn how to read and speak Japanese first, then I might be able to think. So you need to learn the fencing language. You need to enjoy it very often, more than often. These are hours that I will assume you're not really thinking about. You're just going to fencing to explore a bunch of ideas, right? You're just kind of maxing out your skills. Maybe we have, right? Footwork. Blade work. And we're barely even thinking of tactics yet, right? It's mostly technique. Footwork, blade work. We're filling these boxes with our experience. Right? Maybe we're trying French. We're fencing French, pistol. Right? We're doing a lot of things. We're fencing a lot. Okay, you need data on all these things. And I want these ideas to come from you. You're probably taking lessons. Fantastic. Take lessons. Trust your coach. Right? We're talking at least 2,000 hours. And here, if we go here, if I'm saying 2,000 hours, let's say you fence 5 times a week. And those practices are about 3 hours. 3 hours times 5 times a week. That's only 15 hours a week. Assuming you do this every week, 52 weeks, you're probably doing 780 hours a year of practice, right? And then we got tournaments, right? So, like, let's say you're insane and on a good year you can get 1,000 hours. It takes most people like 2 years to actually get anywhere near this. Okay, so we need data. You need to just start making your own thought patterns. Spam tournaments. Anything you can do. No tournament is above or beneath you, basically ever, unless you're classed out by ranking. You're learning the fencing language. Learn to read fencing. Hopefully you're enjoying it. And these are hours that you're kind of coincidentally doing, but by just enjoying being there. You're just going, getting the reps in. You're not thinking about it. Now, step 2. Now, super important. When you're doing step 2, you are already on top of a mountain of experience. Right? You already have a lot of experience. The rest of the mountain is coming. You're here. We could probably go up here. You're already on top of a lot of experience. You will accidentally do this during this part. You'll find fencings you like. You might have watched my channel. You might have watched other people fence. You will find touches you like. What's important is that you don't go and say, what's the best touch? I don't know what the best touch is for you. You're creating thought patterns of your own. You're getting more data. Maybe you're doing some video reviews to see. If, like, you should be proficient enough that if there's some stuff you can't do, you need to go back to step one. Like, pretty much most of your footwork should be established, and you should be thinking how you want to start fencing. Like I said, you are starting at the top of a mountain of experience. You're here. There's a lot more things to do. Okay, do not go to step 2 right away. This hard mistake that a lot of us do, where we go and immediately we see, right? I see and immediately I want to fence like that dude. I want to fence like GP. I want to fence like Canon. I want to fence, and anything they don't do, I don't do. But the thing is, I promise you, all high-level fencers can do basically every action to some extent, but they choose to do what they want to do. Okay, so I promise you, every fencer knows how to do 4, 6, parry 7, parry 8. They know how to counterattack, they know how to lunge flesh, but a lot of things they have chosen. I cannot fence like Canon because I am not Canon, and I have not created these stop patterns by myself. You need data. So here you're going to try to copy. So maybe example, right? I will give you my example of how I started copying a hit. Oh, we're going. Right, let's go back here. I learned how to toe hit from here. Alright, I realized, oh, I pointed the hand. Now I can get their attention. Doesn't matter that much what happens. And if they take 8, I can cut over. Boom. So I started using hand checks to verify my distance. Bop. Right, so at first, literally all I did was I would fix the hand, and then try to drop the foot. And then as I copied that, I was like, hey, wait, that doesn't always work. What am I doing wrong? I go back to this hit. I also realized that I'm not Korean, but that's okay. Right, but I was like, but all jokes aside, I was like, hey, wait, you know what? Like, my footwork is nowhere near on this guy's level. I have to up the game a bit. Boom. So here now, see, we notice he retreats the hand. And then I was like, oh wait, look, not only is he going for the hand, he's matching it with when the guy's flat-footed. Right? We have to look back at all our things we do. And then you can look back at your own touches. Maybe you've recorded, like me, I recorded a lot of things. Now from there, we were trying to copy people. We're fencing a lot, right? We're just used to getting this. We're used to the rhythm, to the volume. Now we have to start sticking to something. What does that mean? Right? It's example. I looked at this toe hit, and I kind of make it my personality. Right? It's officially in my toolkit. I love this hit. So now I'm starting to find out how I want to fence. From this toe hit, what am I creating? I've created these stop patterns by myself. I tried this. Obviously, you ask questions, but there's no best way because I am not you. You are not me. You get more data. Right? So now, right, we've got a bunch of experience. We tried to copy people. We made it here. And now we're kind of trying to get it here. These are relatively close together, but also quite a hurdle. And you'll see what I mean. Because now we have to start, well, we've kind of filled in a lot of the boxes by ourselves, right? We have like footwork, blade work, right? And then we're actually starting to get into tactics. We're starting to fill these boxes quite well, actually, right? They're all at a decent level. And now we're starting to learn how to specialize, right? Like, what can I set up from certain actions. That's why you'll notice a lot of very high level fencers, they have 3-4 insane actions. And that is because they learn how to make their own charts. They learn how to make you fence in their world. Right? So imagine I have one action. I can create, and it can split off to 3 ways. Example, right? I go to the hand up on top. I know that this person can take 6. I know that this person can counterattack. I know this person can back up. I have 3 plausible reactions. And then on top of that, we have all the side ones where it's a little less intuitive, but some people, you know, when I go to the hand, people just close right away. And all less intuitive. It's right, certain styles. You have to start filling very specific boxes to get people to enter your world. Because otherwise now, you're going to practice, and let's say in those 3 hours, yes, we have no plan. We're practicing like 12 things. I've added maybe half a root here, half a root here. I didn't do this today. Half a root, right? We're not really building pathways. However, if my plan goes in and I have 3 things I'm doing today. My hand hit, I got to do for an hour. I got to practice my toe hits for an hour. See, like I'm building longer pathways. And then maybe my flesh, right, with disengage, whatever you want to. See, like all of a sudden now, it makes a lot of sense that I can use a very narrow set of data to start specializing and getting a lot of experience in one thing. We're filling up the boxes, maxing out the skill trees. Okay. Now, the problem is, you can't skip step 1 and 2. Why is that? You're getting to this because of thought patterns you created by yourself. Right? So a lot of people, right, we think we did this a lot. We didn't. We didn't actually fence that much. Right? I'm trying to speak Japanese, but I watched a bit of anime, and I think I know a feel for the language, and I picked up a book and I still can't read. I started trying to copy. So like, right? I started fencing a lot. Now I'm trying to copy, and then I saw Ken unfence. And I'm trying to do his drawer pull. I don't even know. I can't even get a guy to parry normally, let alone set up an action where I'm pulling my arm borderline behind me. And I'm trying to make that my main action. None of this is your own. So what happens is you're actually still here. You're creating things by yourself, but you're pretending to be here. You have made no thought patterns of your own. So a lot of times what happens here is we end up stagnating. Right? So we think we're here, but we're not accepting that we need to find some things we need to copy. We need to find some things by ourselves. Like you should, like, and this is how you know, like you should know fencers on the international circuit. You should know their names, know how they fence. Because that way, you need something to inspire you. You need to find out how you want to fence. Ask your coach if you have to. Don't skip this. This is the longest part. Make sure you're copying. Then start sticking to something. Right? So creativity within constraint, right? Let's say I want to be a defensive fencer today. Right? So I'm sticking to the back. I'm learning how to get people to fall into my parries. Every which way. Why? Maybe I watched a defensive fencer like Nikishin do it. Things like that. You have to create your own thought patterns. Ask your coach. Now we're very high up this fantastic mountain. Oh, so let's make it black. Right, so I'm very high up. See, I have all my experience, right? My 2K hours. I've copied people. I've been specific. Now, I need to keep having fun. right? Obviously, and discipline. Okay, so now keep having fun. So what does that mean? Now I have all this data of what I like to do. I need to have practices with no specific plan. What does that mean? It's like, hey, can I trust my instincts? If I go in and I don't necessarily have a plan, but, right, what will that do? That will train you to be able to think by yourself, right? Without having to stick to something on how to beat someone, that will mean you know how to read fencing. And then you can start going outside your comfort zone, right? Like, how do I fence when I'm tired? How do I fence when I completely restrain myself from my favorite action? How do I, right? You never know. Maybe these are things you might get injured, whatever, right? You guys keep spamming tournaments. There's no tournament below or above you. If you can go to that tournament, I strongly suggest you can go, especially because tournaments is a different kind of stress that is very hard to replicate. Get more data. Don't skip step 1, 2, and 3. Okay? So, what does that mean, right? A lot of us, we go in, we haven't really done this yet. We're maybe here. And then we just go here, we start copying, which is great. Like, you should have an idea, right? It's kind of like, hey, what kind of footwork should I look at? Obviously, we have things we need to look at. We can't get too specific yet. We need to be inspired. We can't get too specific yet, right? So basically, some people go here and they're like, hey, what's the best grip? What's the best shoes? I promise you, it's not the shoes. It's not the grip. It's you. Get more experience. You don't even know why all these tools are good because you're not getting that thought by yourself. Try stuff. And then we get back here. We keep having fun. The thing is now here that's where honestly, like, most people just get, like, 95 people get stuck here because you associate fun with winning. And it's the same thing. Now you're no longer practicing actions. You need to practice how to win properly, right? What does that mean, right? Example, I'm very big on time to touch. I'll give you, right? You never get out of fencing a lot. Basically, you keep going on pure vibes, and that's good to an extent. Maybe you saw your friend do it. I don't know. But your friend is not you. What does that mean is that, like, you never make those pathways yourself. Maybe you only take lessons. You keep switching coaches. You keep switching weapon every time something goes wrong, right? You start copying early and you don't form your own thoughts. Do fun things. Associating winning with fun. Winning is way more fun, but you don't know how to get there. So this is the part where I mean. So example, you're fencing vibes only at tournaments or at practice, right? You do fives, and you always win. You always win. Good for you. I'm so proud of you. But you win in like 30 seconds all the time because you know how to beat everyone in your club. You're so good. Then you go to tournaments, and you're like, oh my god, everyone camps. They go to the back of the strip. It's so boring. Yeah, dude, they want to win because they know they're at the club. You beat them in 30 seconds. I'm very, very proud of you. You're not, like, you didn't spend any time stick into something, do or die, and you don't know how to set up a touch. I'm so sorry. Right? This is stunt. And this is especially at the club. You should be losing a lot, especially when you try. And you have a few days where you might start winning, start losing. But this is the thing that I get when I've been, obviously through this channel, I've gotten to talk to a lot of fencers of various levels, but also very high levels. And some people have very easy thoughts for what are very complicated answers. And a lot of that has to do, well, a little bit because of the environment. Check your environment, right? If I am like, go watch my interview with Yannick Borel, like, it's like, what's your favorite touch? And he says like a touch that hits, right? That's because with him, they're in such high level environments for so long that they go through a lot of these things by themselves. Right? They get to fence a lot with super high level fencers. Great. They get to copy because they're around greatness all the time. They end up sticking to something a little bit sometimes because the environment forces them to, and also just because of the people around them. And they keep having fun just because of the sheer volume, right? And they don't associate fun winning because they're around people who are kicking their butts all the time, and it's part of the deal to them. And that's a very small percentage that just goes through that without thinking about it. They're very vibes based, and those are just people who are built different. You have to find out where you are. Did you go through the steps? Are you actively thinking about your fencing? Or are you just showing up, doing your reps, and hoping to God that you will get good? Because it's not free. It's very, very hard. Especially towards the end game. Your practice has to be very, very deliberate and disciplined. Very, very disciplined. Once you get here, I know I keep saying fun, but this part also has to be very, very disciplined. Because like, this is where a lot of people are. This is where the difference makers are. You have to be willing to go to practice when you feel like it, when you don't feel like it. You have to own up when you're having bad days. And you have to work very hard at things that you know you're not good at. Okay? So I hope this helps. Let me know if you actually like this kind of content. I'm happy to keep doing more. If there's topics you like, I'm happy to keep doing these. This one's pretty fun to do. So thanks for watching. Let me know what you think, and have a good one.